At a recent town hall, Congressman Jeff Fortenberry heard a story he didn't expect. A woman asked him to sponsor a bill that may have saved her parents' lives. The couple, in their late 70s, died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Reporter John Kibber tells us how the couple's children are lobbying politicians in hopes this never happens again.
For most modern vehicles, you no longer need a key to start your ignition. Instead, you simply need to press a button and the vehicle turns on. And in fact, you can even get out of the car and walk away with the key fob in your hand, and the car will still remain running. Now, while some may like this feature, it cost one Bellevue couple their lives. This past April, Thomas and Ann MacKinnon had their bags packed, ready to go on an Alaskan cruise. Sometime in the evening, Ann returned to their Bellevue home after grabbing some last-minute items.
Getting out of the car, slight senior moment, a moment of distraction, whatever, and she didn't realize the car was still running.
Eventually, the two went to bed with the car on. Carbon monoxide began to fill their home. At some point, Ann collapsed on the floor.
My father very likely may have seen that or heard that and woke up and immediately went to her. And they were found at the foot of the bed, my dad holding my mom with his head bowed over her.
Got her to the foot of the bed and just, it broke him.
The only silver lining in all of this is that they were married for 52 years. My father loved my mother and they went together.
Their kids, Sharon and David, assumed they went on the trip. 12 days later, David found his parents dead. The two grieved for a while, but eventually their sorrow turned into something else.
And that's where I started to get angry.
Their 2017 Hyundai Tucson, like many vehicles driven in the U.S., has a keyless ignition and only turns off when you press the button again. Some vehicles have a mechanism that automatically turns the idle vehicle off after some time, but many don't.
There isn't any regulation, so it's really up to them to self-regulate and put whatever features they feel they want to. So there isn't anything uniform across the field of trucks, vehicles, SUVs.
Just in the last few years, there have been several instances in the Omaha area. Sharon has documented them and is getting to work trying to make changes.
I just don't understand why, if they know there's a problem, why they wouldn't fix it.
This past Wednesday, her Congressman Jeff Fortenberry held a town hall. She spoke up. He listened. He actually called her the next day, saying he would co-sponsor a bill in the House that would force automakers to add the function that would have saved Thomas and Ann's life.
It doesn't necessarily take legislation, it's just the possibility of a bill targeting the industry actually will make them change, and some car makers already have.
Sharon and David are pleasantly surprised at the quick response from their representative in Washington.
Throwing the Hail Mary in a Super Bowl and it got caught and she's inside the 10-yard line.
Sometimes legislation that has deep, deep meaning doesn't necessarily have to have large numbers, it just has to have the right moment. Sharon has helped create that right moment.
Sharon is also trying to reach out to Senators Deb Fischer and Ben Sasse. She's also considering a lawsuit against the car company.